Hey, how's it going? My name is Baker. I'm a Christian music video director and editor, and today I'm going to be showing you the 3 basics of how to do warp effects in After Effects. Hey, how's it going? Today I'm going to be showing y'all how to do the basics of warp effects. So warp effects became pretty popular around 2020 with the rise of the underground rap. And when you look at warp effects, you look at them and they look like they're kind of something you can't comprehend unless you know the basics of how to do them. So first you're going to start out with a blank clip. You're going to duplicate, Command D. And I'm going to be using this clip right here. Make sure we get a cut. Shift Command D for a cut. So we got this clip cut out right here. So first we're gonna rotoscope. So we got double click, rotoscope right up here. And then just rotoscope out the whole, turn that full up. Now rotoscope up your artist. Make sure you get make sure you get a good roto brush. Because if you don't get a good roto brush, your effect's gonna look pretty choppy. Alright, we're gonna go ahead and press freeze. Unfreeze. And then gonna go back. So now you got a rotoscoped artist out. You got a regular layer in the background, and then you got a rotoscope layer on top. So to make this look, see how the edges are looking a little choppy? You're gonna feather the edges, and then you're gonna reduce shatter a little bit, and then shift edge in. Give it a little outline. All right. So you're gonna duplicate that and then just remove the background layer. So the first effect I'm gonna be showing y'all is the ease in. So basically, it's when you start out with an effect at full capacity and you ease it back into the regular frame. So for warp effects, the main effect you're gonna wanna use is turbulence displace. So let me see. Yeah, so for the main effect, you're gonna want to use turbulence displace. For the background layer, turbulence smoother is probably the best one to use. And you want to keyframe. Hold on, bro, why is this front layer not showing? Alright, baby. So you're gonna want to start it out at the highest capacity it goes. Make sure you get as warped as possible or as warped as you like it. So probably something like that is good. And then about halfway through, or depending on what clip you have, whichever you think is a good stopping point. So probably like right here when his hands cross. It's pretty good for me. And to give it a wavy effect, you're gonna want to increase the size. Start with a low size and increase to a higher size. And then the amount you're gonna want to put back to 0. You're gonna want to go into effects, turbulence displace, and then look at your keyframes. Look, I'll put an extra keyframe right here. We're just gonna want to select it all, come down here, easy ease. That just makes it a little bit more smooth in motion. And then there you go. It starts out at the highest level of turbulence, and it eases in back to the regular effect, or back to the regular clip. Simple as that. So the sauce just up a little bit. Like, this is a good effect, honestly. But to add a little bit more, we can add Displacer Pro, which is a free plugin you can get online for After Effects. So same thing, we're gonna keyframe these effects right here. And then mirror repeat is probably the best. Just wanna displace it, warp it up, play with that rotation a little bit, that scale a little bit, and then you're gonna come up here and play with the softness. Give it a little bit more of a softer tone to it, a little bit less pixelized. And then you come back down here, match it up with that keyframe down here. And we're just gonna put everything back to 0. Same thing, easy ease. And then I want to say with Displacer Pro, it's going to come in a little bit more harsh than smooth. So to smooth it up a little bit, you want to play with your graph editor, which is right here. So graph editor, it just kind of gives you a little bit more option. So when you bring this key point out right here, it smooths out the effect. So instead of making it harsh and making it stop abruptly, so right here, you can see it stops very abruptly. You can smooth it out a little bit and make the effect come in a little bit more smoother. I'm gonna jump on full. And then when you're editing the warp effects, depending on what computer you got, you might want to go down to, instead of having that on full frame, come down to a quarter or even third maybe, but I'm gonna stick at a quarter. I'm gonna play with this one as well. Just smooth it out a little bit. Same thing with the scale. Smooth it out a little bit more. And that's good right there. We're gonna add another thing. Warp Chroma. And this is a Sapphire plugin, meaning you have to pay for it. No, not Warp Chroma. Distort Chroma. So this is a paid plugin from Sapphire that you have to get, and it helps a lot. Like with warps, it just adds another layer of warp, and with any good thing, you're gonna have to pay for it, just depending on how much you want to pay. I'm gonna put that. Just make sure you stack them. Just play around with it really, and it just gives you good, different aspects, different things to play around with. Same thing, play that amount. So you just have something simple like this, really. And then I'm gonna add one more thing. I'm probably not gonna do this for each aspect of this video, but just to show you how you can sauce up the overall feel of the video. Play with this. Play around with the color a little bit. Same thing. Bring it back down. And bring that back down to 0. So you got something like this. Add a little color to it, add a little warp to it. As simple as that. First is ease in, and that's it right there. So now we're gonna head on to ease out. I'm gonna delete these keyframes. So to blank. So ease out is basically the same thing, just in reverse. So you're gonna come down, turbulence. So you're gonna wanna start at 0. We're gonna make sure this size is at a lower value. The amount, you're gonna put that at 0. Turn turbulence smoother. 0. And then to the end, I wanna bring that up. And then you're gonna wanna bring that size up to give it that good little warp. So now you gotta ease out. So the effect comes in towards the end of the video. Something like that. I'm gonna probably boost this up a little bit. And that warp in just a little bit more. Simple, something like that. I'm gonna just throw Displacer Pro on there. Again, probably not gonna go through all the extra effects I did, but Displacer Pro is always a good one. Down here to mirror repeat. And once again, you're gonna wanna start at 0. Put that scale, and then come to the end. Do a little rotate, maybe a little scale. Come back up. Soften it up a little bit. Then I think I'm gonna stack it different. So to the layers right here, you can always stack them. When you wanna stack effects different, it comes out with a different warp. So say I put Displacer Pro up top, the warp is gonna look different than if I put Displacer Pro under the turbulence displace. I'll probably put that above turbulence. And literally, bro, you get a good basic warp effects. Both of these plugins are free, or both of these effects are free. Something simple like that. Ease out. So the next one is probably the more complicated. It's really not that hard, but just a little bit more steps. So this is going to be the hit effect. So basically, instead of it coming in smoothly, it's going to come in abruptly. So you're going to mask it with I'm going to show you what to do. You're going to mask it with a shake or a glow to kind of make it hit into the effect. So right here, I know you probably can't hear the sound on here, but right when his hand crosses, it's a beat. And that's usually where you want to do these effects at. So right here where that beat comes in, you're going to split that bottom layer, Command-Shift-D. And then same thing, we're going to throw on turbulence displace. Turbulence displace. And instead of making it come in smoothly, this whole section right here is going to be warped up. So come down a little bit. At the end, you're gonna bring it up somewhere. Hold on. Got the keyframe there though. So bring it back down. Start out low size. Warp it up. And then towards the end, just bring that size up. Just gives it a good little warp to it. So you see how it just comes in abruptly instead of it having a smoother transition. I'm saying displacer. I'm gonna do a different, like you can really play around with all these effects, and there's tons of way how to do warp effects. So for right here, I'm going to duplicate that layer we just did, spread it out, and then I'm gonna play with the evolution, which is gonna give it a different combination of warp. I'm going to scale this up a little bit and press screen. That's probably not good. We're gonna press lighten. And it just adds another layer of warp on top of it and gives it a pretty good warp look on there. Let me see. I think I might add on another free CC blah blahs. And really, bro, you just want to play around with it. Like, it's unlimited effects you can add on. We're gonna throw that above turbulence. Just play around with the effects. Just come up with something unique, something that looks good. As simple as that. I'm gonna press lighten. And something as simple as that, bro. Now, since this is the last effect, well, actually, next is probably the most important part I forgot about. You're gonna want to press the adjustment layer. Now, After Effects doesn't have a built-in shake effect, so it just depends on how you want to do it. You can also do it. I'm gonna first show you with a glow, and then second, I'm gonna show you with how to do it with a shake. So glow is if you don't have a shake plugin for After Effects, but honestly, there's plenty of shake plugins. You just gotta go find them online, just like Displacer Pro. But this is the built-in glow effect for After Effects. So you're gonna wanna bring that glow threshold down, that radius up a little bit, keyframe it in the middle, and you're gonna make sure you keyframe it right where this hit happens. You're gonna come in about 5 frames, and then you're gonna play with the threshold a little bit. bring that threshold back to 100. You're gonna go back to the middle, go back 5 frames again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then same thing. And it gives you a little flash. And it's depending on, it varies scene to scene. So same thing where you just wanna probably drag that out a little bit. Easy ease. And just give you a good little flash, right? So the next one you're gonna wanna do is the shake. So like I said, the shake, After Effects doesn't have a built-in shake effect. So for me, I'm gonna be using Sapphire Shake. I know you got a couple different shake presets. Like I know Brian Delmata, if you go to his page, he has a Shake Shots plugin. So there's plenty of shake effects that you can find. And I actually have a preset that I made. So we got, and it's basically just keyframes again. So we got the keyframe right here. So the keyframe right in the middle. It's gonna be a little shake. So just bring it, make sure that shake match up right here. And something simple like that. Probably gonna bring that shake up. Just edit it just a little bit and drag it out. And also this glow. Sometimes you want to add, like this preset right here has shake and glow onto it. So just adding that combination as a glow. So something simple as that, right? And then that's pretty much it for the 3 main effects, or 3 main, the basics of how to use warp effects, or how to add warp effects to your effects. So now I'm gonna show you how to sauce up the warp effect in general, just a little bit more. So you're gonna wanna pre-compose your warp layers. So now you got all your clips added together into one layer. I'll cut that up. And a good thing to do is always label your effects, or color code your effects, just so you know what you're working on. So right here, double click on that. You can see your layer right here. So we got the cutout right here. We got the bottom layer, top layer warp. And really that simple. So now we got the whole thing. Something good to add is CC lens. CC lens. Probably bring that up to half. Bring it back down. But CC lens, it just adds a warp around it. It just adds a little bit more depth into it. The thing with these warp effects, even though this is obviously fake, you're gonna wanna try to make this as real as possible. Or just make it look like it fits. So warping it around, let me see. So it shakes in. You're probably gonna want to keyframe that size. Just kind of bring it out a little bit as the effect progresses. Also another thing, is a warp chroma, which is basically a chromatic admiration effect, and just adds a little bit of blur to the outside, so it blends the whole effect together. And this is also a Sapphire plugin, and I'm pretty sure After Effects does have some kind of chromatic admiration effect. So after that, another good effect is Flicker, which is also a Sapphire plugin. And I know these are paid effects. And really, I didn't start out with the paid effects. I just made them work. So this is another just little flicker on there. And there you go, just simple as that. That's probably not the best looking effect, but you just get the basics. Just understand the basics of how to add them. And simple as that. And those three, the ease in, ease out, and then the hit effect, it's literally the basis of how I do all my effects. So this right here, this background video is a video I shot not too long ago. And I pretty much did warp effects on most of this video right here. So let me see if I can find the... Let me see if I can pull that up. Got it right here. This is the final video right here. So I did a lot of warp effects. You're probably not going to be able to hear the sound, but these are some of the warp effects I did. See if I can find them. And the thing with warp effects, it just depends on the video, honestly. I was gonna say, like, you don't want to OD on the warp effects. Making them more subtle and just not as much is the best route to go, instead of just filling that junk up full with effects, which you can do, once again, depending on the video. Just a discernment you gotta figure out for sure. If that's your style at the same time, you know what I'm saying, warp that junk up. But yeah, so just something simple like that. So right here, if you can see, it was a quick ease in, just different effects that I used from the video. So right here, it eased in. So right here, it came in, it just eased in. I did a little bit of warp. I did that same CC lens on the outside, and it came back to normal. So ease in, and it came back to normal. Same thing, another one right here, ease in, it's warped up on the outside, and it just eases back in. So this is a hit one. It's kind of more advanced, but it still uses the same premises. Like he steps right here, and it hits, and it's a warp effect. Then another hit, and then a warp effect out. That's probably another one I probably should show, but it's the same premise. Like hit in, hit out. So if you want to warp it up first, and then do another hit out, like that, that's a hit as well. And let me see if I can find... It's another ease out, where you start out, you're gonna start out a regular effect right here, and it just eases into the effect. So right here, and it eases in, and then you got warp, same thing. I just did some turbulence, probably some displacer pro, and then the CC lens is always a good one to just warp it around, and also added some glow to glow it up a little bit. This is an ease in. That's simple, bro. So obviously it's gonna take a minute to understand all the effects and how to do them. But once you understand the basics of how to do these, it's just that simple, bro. Like you can let your creativity shine, and show. Just play around with the effects and just do whatever you want to do, really, bro. That's the thing with music videos. You can just shine and let whatever comes to mind come to mind. All right, guys, that's it for this video. If you guys like the content, make sure you like, comment, and subscribe.